Hey, thanks for making it to Veterans Info Tep. I'm glad you made it. Did you know that the VA offers two COLAs, cost of living adjustment, for different benefits that they have? They apply one to our compensation, whether it's your service connected compensation or dependency indemnity compensation. And then they have another one that they utilize to calculate other monetary benefits. This is money in your pocket. So oftentimes when we talk about COLA, that's that cost of living adjustment, we talk about, well, it's kind of funky that we have to mirror what the Social Security Administration does. Maybe we should just calculate it ourselves. What would that look like? Well, I'll tell you that there is actually that variant. The VA does calculate and apply their own COLA to some monetary benefits. I'm going to jump into that, share it with you because we can be expecting that probably fairly soon. Just to throw it out there, the dates, right, for COLA, your standard regular COLA that everybody knows, which is the one that applies to our Social Security or VA compensation and so forth, that one gets determined in October and really goes in our first check that we get in January, right? And then the other COLA that VA calculates and applies for these other monetary aspects, what they do is they actually approve it and roll it out in the first date that it's able to be applied and utilized and received by veterans is October 1st. So with that, hit the thumbs up, subscribe, share with a friend, all that good stuff. I truly appreciate it. Just bringing you in the loop so you understand what's going on, especially as we start to move closer into the COLA season with regard to the compensation aspects. So I really appreciate that. Now, as we're moving closer to the actual end of the fiscal year, the last 3 months, July, August, September, are the months that are utilized for the, we'll call it traditional COLA, cost of living adjustment, that pay raise that we desperately need because inflation sucks. Those last 3 months of the fiscal year or the third quarter of the calendar year are the numbers that will be utilized to do that. They're going to then give us the announcement in October through the Social Security Administration, of which by law through Congress, the VA has to then mirror that number. So we'll find that out mid-October. And then it'll go into effect for that first paycheck that we receive for January, right? Our January check. So with that being said, the VA actually has another set of COLA, cost of living adjustment, that they apply and determine themselves. Last year, in 2023, if you missed it, I did a video on it about this time last year. That amount was 6.2%. So last year, the VA calculated COLA at almost 6.25. 6.2% is what the VA calculated as a cost of living adjustment, and they applied it to two programs that put money in your bank account. What two programs are those? I don't know if you've been able to guess yet. So it's effective October 1st, and those programs are Chapter 31 and Chapter 35. Chapter 31 is your Veterans Readiness and Employment program, right? Great program that puts money in your pocket every single month while you're enrolled in that program through a subsistence allowance. The other is Chapter 35, that's your dependents education program, and they have also that 6.2% goes into effect October, and that money currently sits at $1,488 per month in your pocket, in your spouse's pocket or your dependent children's pocket. So it's a dependent education program. Now, just to dive in a little more on both of those, just for some more awareness, the main aspect of this video was, look, there's two different COLAs that we're going to be tracking. So as you see numbers roll out, you need to understand which thing it applies to. They're both COLA, and in fact, on the VA's website, it says Chapter 31 subsistence allowance rate increase as of October 1st, 2023, based upon 6.2% consumer price index increase, which is so funny to me because it was almost half of that, according to the Social Security Administration's calculations, and therefore we realized a almost half amount of an increase on our compensation, sadly. So, boy, wouldn't it be great if the VA utilized that same, if they had the power, because they don't have the power to, if they had the power to utilize the same calculations that they did for Chapter 31 or for Chapter 35, the 6.2% increase, and apply that to compensation. So, in any case, the VA calls that a COLA, the cost of living adjustment, and they applied that. So, let's talk really quickly, just high level, off the top of my head, overview of both of those programs, VR&E and Chapter 35, the dependent education. So, VR&E is for you, the veteran. There's a cutoff for the utilization of that program. There's actually a time limit for some of us. Now, I want to jump in to it and let you know exactly from the VA's website the verbiage. All right, that verbiage is, if you were discharged from active duty before January 1st, 2013, your basic period of eligibility is 12 years from one of these dates. Now, it's mostly the second one of these, but there's two options. So 12 years from the date you received notice of your date of separation from active duty, or the date you received your first VA service-connected disability rating, which would be probably the most common aspect. So for most people, it'll be 12 years from the date that you received your first service-connected disability rating. Okay, VR&E is a great program. I've done a few videos on it recently, so it's just kind of nice to keep talking about it, get the awareness out there. There's 5 different tracks. Please check out that video. There's 3 things that you need to know about it. You watch that video. So those all just happened a couple days ago, so you should be able to find them fairly easily. VR&E is an employment program. You have to go into it thinking of it that way. Your service-connected condition should be a factor in you not able to hold, maintain, keep a job, that type of stuff. So now you're going to VR&E saying my service-connected conditions are not conducive of a good working situation for me. I need to find something different to do. You working with the counselor will then help you determine what is the best route for you. Then they'll go from there, figure it out. Maybe it's education that you need to get you to the job that you could do and like to do. Okay, so that's kind of what VR&E will do. The big thing here is that there's a lot of power in the counselor's hands. So they need your story needs to resonate with them because they are literally the gatekeeper. You can continue to apply or appeal. For my own kind of situation, I applied, was denied, applied again, denied, applied again, got approved, got put through the program. So, the squeaky wheel, I guess. I will throw in, though, that I spoke to a different counselor each time that I went back. So my story, was received differently by each one of those people. So that's VR&E. The next, and it will pay out, a little over $1,000 a month if you have a couple dependents. If you have any post 9/11 GI Bill remaining, they'll mirror that amount and pay you up to $3,250 or so per month, $3,250 tax-free in your pocket per month if you have any post 9/11 GI Bill remaining. Chapter 35, dependent program, education program for your spouse, dependent children, if you're 100% permanent and total veteran, which is, if you're not, it's just another reason why you should try to get there. What happens with that program, your spouse or dependent children can enroll into a school, right? You'd apply for Chapter 35, enroll in the school, work with the VA accrediting officer or official or whatever that's at that school. You'd get all enrolled up. If you're going to school full-time, the school will let the VA know that you're going to school full-time, and they'll let the VA know every month, and then the VA will cut your dependent child or spouse $1,488 per month. It's kind of a sliding scale. If you go to school 3/4 of the time, half time, whatever, then that number gets reduced. You can go to school 100% online. That's fine. And the last thing that you need to know about that program quickly is that it does not pay for the tuition. So you get a stipend of $1,488 per month, tax-free, going to school full-time. However, you have to pay for the school. So take a moment and look to see if there's any school benefits, educational benefits through your state. Some states offer dependent and spouse benefits for education through their state schools. So look there. There might be something that you can kind of piggyback on. Maybe the tuition's reduced or free, and then you can get the $1488 per month while you're going to that school. At the end of the day, the worst case scenario is you got to pay for the school out of your pocket with that $1488. Look, if you're going to Harvard or Stanford, that's going to eat that up, and you're going to have to pay more out of pocket than what you're getting per month. If you're going to a community college or some online school, you'll probably walk away with more than $1,000 in your pocket at the end of every month. So with that, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you. Have a great one. And remember, if we don't take care of each other, something went wrong.